Is DayZ Frostline worth buying? That's what you want to know, and I've played it enough to give you a good answer. Trouble is with this map and expansion is it's going to depend on what kind of playstyle you're after. It's going to be a definite yes for some of you out there and a big no for others. So let me try and paint a picture for you to figure out which camp you're in, whether you're going to be a fan of DayZ Frostline or you're not going to be a fan. So DayZ Frostline is going to bring an Arctic map to DayZ. It's more focused on harsher survival elements, but it does bring some other features such as improved fishing, new items, new clothing, new wildlife, and a few other things like that. But overall, it feels like a new experience to play for DayZ on a brand new map with a focus on harsher winter survival. And the cold and climate play a massive part of what that experience is like. You're not just fighting hunger and starvation and dehydration, you now have to deal with your temperature. And this is a part that makes survival a lot harder, not just because you need to keep yourself warm, but the food you find may be frozen. You're not going to find as many water sources, which means you then need to get snow and find a container to melt it. So the core basic survival elements are there much longer than normal DayZ experiences and are more difficult to tackle. And the crazier thing is, as you progress inland to get some of the higher value items, better weapons, potentially look for a vehicle, you are going to come across colder and colder climates. The more you venture into the island, the colder it gets, which means you need higher insulation clothes and even more protection to prepare yourself for, colder environments. So that's an overview of kind of what Frostline is about. It's a harder survival experience, which means because you have to put more time and focus on surviving, you have less time to perhaps take part in PvP or find other players. And you will do that once you've got the hang of it. But if you're the kind of person that wants to jump in, get kitted fairly early on and get into the action and go shoot down other players or build a clan and build a base and all that stuff, that sort of gameplay is much harder to get a hold of, and the core base DayZ experience or modded servers, if you're on PC, are going to offer that faster and for free. Now, DayZ Frostline has a harsher survival experience, and that survival experience is something that a lot of people may like. I personally find the joy in trying very hard to stay alive and keep my life going as long as possible and slowly but surely building up better gear over time. But that ever-evolving threat of the cold is always there. My current character's been alive for about 5 hours, and that's a 5-hour run of a lot of action where I almost went unconscious, almost lost everything. But even after all of that, we were still struggling. I was never thriving. I was only surviving. But that kind of experience means that the moment you find, say, a deer in the wild or a boat by the coastline, it means so much more, and it adds more value to the items you find, and you get more attached to your characters. If you're on console, you want a super harsh survival experience, then it's definitely for you. If you want fast-paced PvP action and easier looting and less survival restrictions for your gameplay, then Frostline probably isn't for you. Now, if you're on PC, you're probably going to find a lot of modded experiences for potentially free that mean you don't have to get involved in purchasing more content for the game. I honestly think that if you're on PC, you could probably get away with not buying Frostline and still find a lot of free experiences through modded servers and mods and modded maps and have, a free, harsh survival experience without ever having to spend another penny on the game. But with all that being said, would I say my investment and purchase of this was worth it? Yes, I enjoyed it. I played a lot of DayZ in the past though, so me buying more into the game now, many years later, doesn't feel like much of a problem, and I'm happy to do it because I know my experience has been worth it in the past, and my experience with the new DLC is also really worth it. So, in summary, yes, I'm happy to spend money on it and enjoy the experience, and I think you will too if you enjoy a harsher survival experience. Now, if you don't enjoy a harsher survival experience, you probably won't like it. And at the same time, if you're kind of a bit stretched for money and you're really not sure whether to go ahead, and you're on PC, you can find a lot of modded experiences that offer a similar vibe for completely free. So hopefully that will help you decide whether or not to purchase DayZ Frostline. I'm going to be releasing a DayZ Frostline starter guide that's going to really help you out, because this map really is a lot harder and you may struggle. You may even find that frustrating. So that video will be on screen. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the comments. Cheerio.